Are there any other speakers? Member for Drysdale.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise tonight to talk about the shocking Independent Commissioner Against Corruption report, Operation Jupiter Part 2, which was tabled in Parliament this afternoon. The ICAC report confirms what everyone knows, that there is a stench around the Labor Party in the Northern Territory. It's now more than a stench, Madam Speaker, it's a disease. The report, and with the investigative journalism of the NT Independent, we now clearly know that former Chief Minister Michael Gunner, using his own taxpayer-funded brother-in-law, Ryan Neve, and his cronies, so that was his Assistant Chief of Staff, ran a protection racket for the party and used taxpayer funds in the 2020 election. So for my people in Drysdale, the Labor Party used your money that you earned and they took as taxes, and they used it for their own party's gain in the 2020 election. That is one of the most shocking breaches of public trust that could possibly happen in the NT's history, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I will quote some of the lines from the report. In the months leading up to the 2020 election, officers within the Office of the Chief Minister, and in particular the digital unit, performed political campaign work within normal office hours and whilst being paid from the public purse. Apparently, the lines of reporting were not clear. However, Labor knew what they were doing, and they did it on the constituents of Drysdale's dollars and the dollars of every other Territorian, Madam Speaker. It goes on to say the digital unit director was requested to carry out political work, and not by one person, Madam Speaker, but by several different people throughout that time. Madam Speaker, these are damning findings. Labor deliberately broke the rules to spend taxpayer-funded time helping their party win the 2020 election. In a democracy, Territorians expect all political parties to be given a fair go leading up to an election. Thankfully, our government will ensure this will never happen again. Madam Speaker, the people of the Northern Territory deserve absolute confidence in their government and their representatives. The ICAC report proves what the Labor Party did prior to the 2020 election is unforgivable. The Leader of the Opposition was part of that government. Yet here she's been in this chamber this week lecturing our government about integrity. The team that spent the people's money so they could be re-elected has the audacity to lecture any other party on integrity. This is an absolute disgrace and a disgraceful moment in the history of the NT, and I dare say one of, if not the most disgraceful for the NT Labor Party. And won't it be interesting what the Leader of the Opposition will say about this ICAC report, which is damning of the party she leads? Given her staffer, who pinned up a poster in the men's fifth floor toilet a couple of weeks ago, walked away with a slap on the wrist, will the Leader of the Opposition finally show some backbone and call out the disgusting behaviour from her own party? Madam Speaker, the Labor Party is a disgrace. They knowingly and deliberately broke the rules prior to winning the 2020 election. What a disgrace for Territorians that they had to put up with Labor for 4 years, given this ICAC report has confirmed they rorted the 2020 election. Territorians cottoned on to the disease surrounding the Labor Party and they were thrown out last August. That's why, Madam Speaker, there is only 4 of them left. Shame on the Labor Party, Madam Speaker. Shame on them for taking the money of my constituents and spending it on their own campaign so they could continue feeding themselves from the public purse. Shame on them, Madam Speaker. Shame, shame, shame.